Okay, here we go, part 9.
First, I want to put you over here. You said you saw this figure against the wall and he was moving around.
Yes.
Can you just demonstrate for us the manner in which you saw the figure moving
He
around?
was just moving around, just pacing back and forth.
Okay. And that's what you saw when you opened the door?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And then you described...
I don't know if I would have asked that question, because if he's moving back and forth, he's not moving towards you. So what this attorney did is he blocked her in and told her to say what the attorney was moving, and she moved back and forth. He should have been far enough away at the same distance. That's why you get in trouble sometimes when you do demonstrations on the fly and you didn't practice this before, because the demonstration can kind of give the defense, or the prosecution in this case, a place to go and go, well, didn't you testify that he was moving back and forth? How was that threatening? You said he moved back and forth, didn't you? If he was moving back and forth, how was that threatening? If you could tell he was moving back and forth, he wasn't moving towards you. So I wouldn't have done this demonstration. Again, this is the first time I'm seeing this, and I'm just telling you what I see from my cop's eyes or my courtroom.
What the commands you told it?
Yes.
Okay. I want you to imagine that you're at... Where exactly were you inside the apartment?
I was at the doorway. I remember feeling that silver bottom thing on my feet.
Okay. So you're at that area. This is the doorway. And we talked about this before, haven't we?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
We would call that the threshold. I never actually entered the apartment. I stayed at the door. Well, why didn't you enter? Why did you stay at the door? If you wanted to go in and kill him, why didn't you run in and kill him? Well, I didn't want to kill him, and I didn't want to run in. I was standing at the door because I was scared, and I thought it was my house, and I kind of went into a little bit of fight, flight, or freeze, and I kind of froze there because I was still confused. I was still processing the massive amounts of information of somebody's in my house, somebody's breaking in, who is this person, is he armed, is he going to hurt me, am I going to die? I'm trying to process all this information in milliseconds, and I was just stuck right there at the door frame. That's better than, where were you standing? Well, I was standing right here at the doorway. You see the difference in the picture that you're painting? You have to learn to create a picture of the confusion and the chaos in order to get the jury to understand exactly what's going on. Otherwise, they can only judge on what they're seeing and what you're telling them. And it doesn't look like it's chaotic or crazy or confusing or panicking or fear. It looks like you're standing in a courtroom talking about it, because that's what you're doing, and that's what you don't want to do.
Now, this general area in here, do you feel that's the area as close as this figure got towards you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you know the length of your apartment from the front door to that back where the figure was is how far?
30 feet.
Okay. And I showed you a mark of this about right here.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
When she said 30 feet, I would have absolutely jumped in. Have you ever received training in edged weapons or knife weapons? Yes. What is the feet to where they predict somebody that you can use deadly force on somebody that's coming at you with a knife? She would have said 21 feet. And your apartment's 30 feet. And you were at the doorway. And when he came at you, if he would have had a knife, would he have been under that 21 feet when you shot? Yes. Okay, so now we just justified the shooting, that if he had a knife, it would have been a justified shooting. Could he have done that? Yeah. Should he have done that? I don't know. I don't know where he's going and everything else he's going to bring up. I'm just seeing this for the first time. That's where my mind's going on. I look at every question, and everything that she does has a way to push my point forward. My point is, she acted reasonable, she was in fear, and what she did was not reckless or negligent. That's what I'm going with everything I'm doing.
Now I want you to first tell the jury exactly how loud you said, "Let me see your hands."
I said, "Let me see your hands. Let me see your hands."
You had the gun pointed.
Yes, sir.
That sounds like a pretty wimpy voice, but, I mean, to be honest, that may be her aggressive voice. I don't know.
And the figure was moving around as you described?
Yes, I have my gun pointed, and I'm saying, "Let me see your hands. Let me see your hands."
What were you focused on?
Him.
Just him?
Yes.
And then he began coming towards you.
Yes.
What were you focused on? A better answer would have been like, I was focused on him, but I was trying to make out his hands. I couldn't see if they had something in him. I was trying to focus on whether he had a weapon or not, and I couldn't see it. And that's why my fear level kept rising, and I felt I was more in danger, because I couldn't make out if he had a weapon in those hands.
And as he became coming for you, that's when you heard him speak.
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to do that now, all right?
Yes, sir.
Hey! Hey! Hey!
And that's at that point whenever I shot.
Somewhere in this area.
Yes, sir.
Now, is it reasonable that the guy yelled, hey, hey, hey? I absolutely believe that did. If I'm sitting in my house and somebody opens my door, because he went into a fight or flight a little bit. He went into, what the hell's going on? He was trying to process. You notice they're not saying, shouldn't he have known that you're a police officer and the suspect saw that your badge and you had a gun and he saw your police on your vest that you were holding in your hand? Isn't it reasonable that he should have not said hey and put his hands up and not approached you? No, they're not saying that. They're only trying to say she was unreasonable. To me, it's totally reasonable when somebody walks in your house to jump up and go, what the hell's going on? Hey, 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 this is my apartment. If he'd have had more time, because it happened so quick, he probably would have said, what the hell are you doing in my apartment? You need a warrant. Get out. Shit, you're going to see my marijuana. Shit, you're not who I was expecting. I left the door open for the guy that was buying my marijuana. Rick, you can't say any of that. Why can't I say that? They can say any of that about her having an affair and shooting a guy with ice cream. That's what I'm talking about, the bias and unfairness of what I see in this trial.
When you shot, what happened?
He fell down.
Go ahead and take a seat.
You notice her facial action when she said he fell down. She had to relive that moment very quickly there, and she doesn't want to. She doesn't want to see this. She didn't want to kill him. I don't care what anybody says. Even she said she wanted to kill him. I don't believe she wanted to kill him. She's not the meat eater type. She didn't go out there and go, oh, hell no, I'm putting for, you know, she didn't, that wasn't her style. I can tell you right now, listen to her talk and the way she moves. This ain't an act. This is who she is. She probably should have never been on the team. Probably maybe never passed the academy. But we can't say that because we all know that everything's equal and we've got to have PC, whatever.
Scared he was going to kill me.
And why did you shoot Andrew?
I was scared he was going to kill me.
Instead of I'm scared he's going to kill me, I was in fear of my life. I don't know if he was going to kill me or not. I don't know if he was going to had a gun or a knife. I don't know what he would have done. But I know that I thought I was in my apartment and I couldn't see his hands and I had a gun pointed at him, and it's not reasonable for most people to run at somebody in a police uniform with a gun and run toward them unless they're planning on doing danger or planning on hurting them or planning on attacking them. So in my mind, in that split second, when I reacted, that's what I was thinking. That would have been a good answer. Of course, look, I'm not her. Some people would see me if I answered like, damn, man, that dude's kind of aggressive. Damn, that dude did want to kill him. He's too aggressive. I mean, that's the flip side to being a meat eater and testifying my way and testifying her way. I don't know.
We talked about that. We've broken that down. Did it take that long is what you walked through?
No, sir. It was much quicker than that.
After they...
If anybody thinks she wants to cry, like for sympathy, I think you're an idiot. She is holding back tears. She's holding back emotion. She's fighting for her life. She's facing prison. She's been through a year of hell. She killed a guy she didn't want to have to kill. She has to stare at his picture. She has all her sexual pictures that she's doing private things with a private guy, another adult who's married. She's got all this going out. Do you think she wants to appear weak and cry? Look, her crying is not an act, people. I don't buy it as an act for a minute. Now, people that want confirmation bias and want to believe the worst and want to convict her no matter what will absolutely see that she's faking, and these are all practice, rehearsed emotions, and none of this is really affecting her, and she's happy she's killed him, and she's gone on with her life, and she's eating ice cream every night, and the poor guy that she killed can't eat ice cream anymore. Those people that want to see that are going to see that, but I'm telling you, I don't believe that for a second.
When you saw the figure, could you tell man, woman, anything like that?
In the back of the room, no, you could not see who it was.
All right. After you fired those shots, what's the next thing that you did?
All right, this guy was a fairly much larger size than her. I would have followed up with that question. Did the guy look small, like a high school student, or did he look like an adult? Or was it a large figure, or was it a small female figure? Would you say he was bigger or smaller than you? There's a lot of places he could have took her that would have justified her fear more. No, he looked large. He looked larger than life. I thought he was 6 foot tall. I was scared to death. But in fact, he wasn't 6 foot tall. He was only 5'10". Well, you know what? In a dark room, when I'm scared and I got my gun pointed at him and everything's happening so fast, he looks 6 foot to me. That makes it, that paints a clearer picture of her fear. And I'm not saying make this up. I'm saying she actually probably saw it that way. Guns look bigger. There's plenty of cases out there when you see a gun pointed at you, you see a larger gun than it was. A lot of it, man, that was a 44 Magnum, and it turns out to be a 22. But when you're scared and your eyes dilate and your fight or flight and your pupils enlarge to attract light, things look different. And they're not driving that point home. That's why I think they're missing some opportunities against her defense, and I think she could have got a better defense.
I walked fully inside the apartment. I still had my gun outside since I didn't even, at that point, I didn't know if he was armed. It wasn't to that point when I got to the counter area when everything started, realizing that this wasn't my apartment.
And why did that happen? Because her lawyer needs to get out. Because after he was on the ground, your fear level was not as high or intense. And you started slowing down, and it allowed you to come out of that fight or flight to where in fight or flight, you're only concentrating on the threat. And after he was on the ground and you were able to relax and come out of that fight or flight, and your fear level was decreased a little bit because you felt you had just stopped a threat, you were able to gather more information in there. You were able to see that it wasn't your apartment. You were able to see his hands clearly and he didn't have a weapon. Isn't that true that all that happened? There's ways that he could have got this information out, and I think he missed it.
What did you start noticing?
I started noticing the ottoman in the middle of the floor.
Okay. Now, could you see any light in the apartment at this time?
I finally saw that there was the TV light was on.
Is that the first time you noticed that?
Yes, it was.
Prior to...
Was the TV light on, or was there just light from the TV because the TV was playing and turned on? I'm confused on that. I would have cleared that up.
To that, where had your complete attention been?
On the threat, on the person that I thought was inside my apartment.
As you saw the ottoman and you moved closer to this person laying on the ground, what's the next thing you saw or felt?
What do you mean?
As you're getting closer, what was going through your mind?
As I was getting closer, that's when it started hitting me that this guy, I have no idea who he is. And that's when everything it started to spin. I was confused, and that's when I dialed 911.
That's totally normal. See, I would have been like, isn't it normal when you go to fight or flight after a high critical incident, when you're coming off of your adrenaline high, that you end up taking in more information? Your recall becomes better. Time distortion that happens in fight or flight suddenly starts becoming more reality. And you start realizing, because now you're not worried about a deadly threat. That goes to the point that she was in greater fear when she fired, that she didn't see anything. I mean, God, it just drives me nuts how these attorneys don't get to the facts and understand what a critical incident is, because either lack of training, either because they think they're attorneys, either because they try, because they've never experienced it and they don't understand it. I mean, maybe I need to put a freaking attorney who's going to defend somebody in a shoot house and have them stand next to a target and me come in and shoot the target with them standing next to it to get them to know what fight or flight feels like. And I'm not saying do that just for attorneys. We did that in cop training. When we did our SWAT training, we had to stand inside rooms that we came in and did live shoots to actually build trust among members and to understand what it's like when somebody shoots at you because you hear the blast and you get the burning of gunpowder and you get the smell and you get the loud noise and you experience all that, and it changes things. It changes how you see things. And attorneys and judges that are judging this have not experienced that, and that's why they don't have the emotion and the compassion and you know that you're hearing in my voice when I'm getting into this, saying, God, come on, people, it's like pulling teeth. Let me tell you how to get information and to make a damn defense or even to make a prosecution. Anyway, we're at 15 minutes again. We'll make this part 9. Sorry, I'm going off. I told you it was going to be long. I'm just going to tell you kind of what goes through my mind on this testimony. Hell, I even got to where the DA jumps on her.